Oh boy, it's that time of the day again, ladies and gentlemen. It's 7 a.m. and I can't fucking sleep. So if you saw the thumbnail, you would think I'm me talking about something else. But however, the title will deceive you because I'm going to be talking about both. So if you saw the thumbnail, you probably recognize that guy and you probably clicked on this video wondering what this video is about. Well, it involves him, but it also involves YouTube itself. So let's get the image out of the way. Moist Critical. So I watched one of his videos that came out a few months ago talking about his all-time revenue that came, like, he showed everybody, the entire world, how much he made. Which, by the way, good on you, because, like, holy shit, I know most people who would never show how much money they made for a business, but this guy decided to do it, so good on you, man. Second of all, he was one of my biggest inspirations for YouTube. If you've seen a consistency, I've tended to copy his style while adding my own personality and flavor to things and have my own little jokes and quirks and have my own style. But overall, yes, he was by far my biggest inspiration for YouTube. I used to be inspired by other video game YouTubers, but I found them to be, well, cringe. But I thought Moist was pretty cool. I thought Moist was a inspirational YouTuber for what he did because he was just him. A style of simplicity yet humorous way to make videos is entertaining to a guy like me. So I took his simplistic style and snarky comments and kind of added my own flavor to it. And well, here we are. I reignited my channel a few months ago and around in August. And I haven't made a lick of sense. I haven't made any doubloons. I haven't made any clams, no money, no gold, no nothing. But I do this for the love of the game. I do this for the passion. I want this to be my career. I want this to be my job one day. And I hope we can get there one day. But that beside, the dick riding aside, YouTube as a whole, I've seen a consistency of changing. And whether that's influenced because of Twitch or influenced because of other platforms like TikTok, etc., etc., I've seen a shift in YouTube over the past 5 or 6 years, and Moist has a big impact on this. I don't know if he's noticed it or not. Maybe he's talked about it, but I'm going to talk about it because I find it to be interesting. So if you look back around 2016, 2017-ish, more than 10 years ago, which was the prime time for me personally to be watching YouTube. I still watch YouTube to this day, but I was still like in school back then, so I was really watching YouTube. And I saw a very consistent thing. Most YouTubers back in the day had a personality. They had very quirky, kind of eccentric, stylized videos that really like felt like big productions. They really exuberated lots of energy and lots of unique personalities. To really like angry the era of angry video game nerd and like its copies and fellow followers behind it is kind of over, and it ended a few years ago. A little like after COVID. I think once COVID hit, people started getting tired almost of that style of video making, like video production, and so we slowly kind of crawled into a new era, and I like to call it the IRL/real era. And what do I mean by that? What do I mean by that? You're asking me. I know. Hold on. I'm gonna get to it. Okay. So what I mean by that is that I've seen that, as of recently especially, that IRL streamers have become the new norm. They have become the new popular thing to watch, is people going throughout their day doing the most mundane, non-hard essential tasks and just doing whatever. IRL, touching grass, would you believe it? And the era of just kind of sitting around and playing video games is not as it's still popular, but it's not as popular. And I think another thing that stacks on top of that is streamers being a bit more down to earth, being a bit more humble, being more real with their audience. And I've noticed that those types of content creators tend to be the most popular. It's very strange. There's very few YouTubers that are the size of Mr. Beast. I think he's the exception, not the rule. I think most big streamers, if you look at what they do in their streams, yeah, they're a little eccentric, they're a little exciting, they do stuff, but they don't do too much. They're still kind of down to earth, really. The era of streaming itself started not too long ago either. Streaming itself didn't really pop off until 2018, 2019-ish, which is around the time I think Moist started like streaming. And you get the old school stuff like Tim Tatman and Dr. Disrespect and streamers like that. XQC's been around for a while too. But I think the era of playing video, just sitting down in front of a camera and playing video games is not the strategy anymore. It's just not, it's simply not. The strategy now is to just go IRL, do basic everyday tasks, go around and fuck with people, which I don't do that. That's a joke. Don't go around and fuck with people. Please don't do that. Otherwise you're going to end up on my channel and I'm going to be talking about you. But other than that, I've seen a consistency of streamers doing that. IRL, whatever, you know what I mean? And then YouTube format videos wise, Moist makes like 1 million views per video a day, and he'll post like 3 videos a day. That's a lot of fucking views for him talking about some basic shit, news channels, for example. News channels, and people just talking about simple things, just sitting in front of the camera like me and you talking to the audience. Most people nowadays like that. They do. It's shocking because I didn't even believe it at first until I looked at the numbers. I looked at my favorite content creators. I kind of saw their shift. And the era of making like funny gaming video, Hoobaduba, fucking Call of Duty 360 no scope spam, it's like, trolling kids on Minecraft or, blowing jets out of the sky in GTA 5, Expedition 3, compilation 4.4, and then, you open a video and it's just a giant freaking freaking the 3D text and shit. Like that kind of era, intros and outros, is like that era of YouTube is kind of gone. And in a way I miss it because that was what I grew up with, and that's actually my original approach to YouTube. If you check my history on this channel, I did not post very many videos back in the day, but the ones that I did post were very Vanoss Gaming, I Am Wildcat like coded, where it's like the funny gaming highlight moments where me and my friends go and make, corny, maybe sometimes offensive jokes, and I compile it together with funny dank memes and sounds that people recognize, like my name is Jeff and shit like that. That's what I did, and I thought it would get views, but when I was posting those videos was when that era was slowly dying out, a little after the first chapter of Fortnite, going into the second chapter, when Fortnite like really took over, and plus Among Us, which was ironic because if I wasn't so busy in school at that time, I probably would have hopped on that trend, but I didn't have the confidence or the money or the time to do that at the time. So I kind of avoided that trend, and I kind of regret it because I feel like if I would have started doing content creation a little bit earlier than I chose to do, which is, this year, I probably would have been better off by now. But hey, you live and you learn. Life gets busy, and I was busy. I had to go to college and shit like that, and I had other things on my mind, and I just I've always wanted to do content creation, but it's never been my full focus. But now it is because, well, I mean, I'm getting older, and you only have, let me give you some advice from a guy who's in his early 20s right now and still learning about life. And maybe this will be a time capsule for my future self. Maybe I'll watch it one day on stream and react to it. You can't wait to chase your dreams. You need to start doing it as soon as possible. That's the one thing I'll tell you. As a person who is chasing his dreams maybe a little later than most people, chase your dreams early. Because I've noticed that people who are the same age as me, I thought Kai Cenat was much older than me. He's actually not. I knew he was older than me, but I didn't know he was that much. I didn't know he was that much older than me. This dude only has like 3 years on me, I'm pretty sure. Like, we're both in our early 20s, and this guy is one of the most popular streamers on earth. You know what I mean? And he started when he was like 18, 17, 16 years old. Like me, I wasn't even thinking about this shit at 16, 17 years old. It was at the back of my mind, but going to school full time and working full time, I felt like I never had time to chase my dreams. When I knew I did, I could have pushed myself harder, which is why now I do push myself harder. I push myself to make content for you guys as much and as soon as possible because I want to take this seriously. So, but my personal, story aside, yes, I mean, my entire career on YouTube so far, I mean, I've gotten pretty decent views on certain videos, and I've done, pretty well on certain streams. I haven't made a lick of cents. I haven't made any money yet, but I've always told myself, and I could tell you too, viewer, if you ever see this video, you can't focus on the money. You got to focus on the passion. You got to focus on your craft. You got to make good content that people will enjoy to watch. And it's okay to take somebody else's strategy and add your own spin to it, because that is what everybody has done, okay? If you think Moist Critical is original, then you're crazy, because he's not. That dude simply took a trend that was popular and ran with it, and that's exactly what everybody else should do. If it's popular, run with it. If you can add your own personal taste to it, run with it. Go with it. It doesn't matter, But I think this video is a time capsule. It's a strange one, to say the least. That this is what YouTube and the content creation sphere as a whole has become. It has become a whole different beast from what it used to be. It is no longer about sitting on a desktop and chatting with viewers. It's now about going outside and touching grass and doing wacky, crazy events and shit like that. You know what I mean? And just sitting down and being real with your audiences, not to a parasocial degree, but at least being honest and close with your audience and being real with them. Because I feel like there's a special magic when a stranger on the internet goes out their way to speak into a camera like I am doing currently and speak to a whole wide, big audience of people on the internet, and they sit down every day to listen whatever goofy topics or whatever they're talking about. And there's a specialness to that, I think, that we shouldn't lose. So if this truly is the future of YouTube, I hope I'm my biggest hope is I'm the front runner, but God knows that's probably never going to happen. I got my hopes up, but not too much. Let's be honest, sports fans. I'm not the biggest YouTuber on the planet. But if this video pops off, I mean, good. If it doesn't, the few of you that do see this video, I hope it inspires you, and I hope that y'all also kind of acknowledge and see the same things that I'm seeing currently. Even if you do not take content creation seriously, or you're just an observer, I think it's important to notice the tides and see how they're shifting. And if you ever see some of your favorite content creators shifting their focus to different things, maybe you'll have an answer why. But yeah, that's about all I have for this video. I just wanted to sit here and talk about how YouTube is changing. It's been a while since I've had this on my mind for a few months. It's been sitting in my notes, and I've been wanting to talk about it. So now I've finally gotten the chance to talk about it, and it feels good to finally get it off my chest. I truly believe the era of YouTube that I grew up with, which was like 2015, 2014, 2016-ish, that era of YouTube is dead. Vine, fuck. I remember watching Vine compilations on YouTube. It's strange, but it's different, and I like that. As I get older, my taste changes. My taste in things changes, and I have grown new tastes for things, and I have not really followed channels that I followed when I was younger, and I think that's just the way it is. Your taste changes as you get older, and things change. So with that being said, I'm hopeful and worried for the future of content creation as a whole. I've never tracked Twitch for very long, but I have tracked YouTube. YouTube has been my number one platform for many years now, and it probably will continue to be my number one platform. I think it is the best content creation platform, not because it's the biggest, even though we all know that, but it's because there's so much variety of stuff on YouTube. The playback is so good. Live streaming is kind of lame, but again, playback is nice. The revenue for content creators themselves is nice. The algorithm is very friendly if you know how to title and edit your videos properly. That's one thing I've noticed. If you don't title your videos or use proper thumbnails, videos do not do as successful as you think they are. You have to have eye-catching thumbnails and eye-catching titles for people to really click on it and then watch it. But enough ramblings aside, I don't want to blow my load today on just this one video. I got plenty of more I want to talk about in the future. But yeah, this was kind of a ranty video, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And yeah, that's about it. See ya.